Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Invitation to Puzzles. I'm zetamath, and our goal here is to show you some cool puzzle genres and get you introduced to the wide world of puzzles. We do a bunch of different sorts of puzzles. We do some Sudoku, we do some pencil puzzles, a whole bunch of different varieties. So here we have a Double Choco by Ambrose. And so a Double Choco is a somewhat bizarre genre where what we have to do is we have to divide the grid entirely into regions, and every region needs to have an identical shape that is black and an identical shape that is white. So every region is going to have an even size, and you're going to divide that region into some black cells and some white cells. And the white cells need to be able to be rotated to form the shape of the black cells, rotated and reflected. There's numerical clues in the grid. So, for example, this 1, and that tells you that the size of the shape it's in is that the black and the white cells both have size 1, for example, is what this says. Okay, so this is sort of a interesting genre in terms of what it is that we can expect. But let's get going. Where there's not a clue, you don't know what size it is. But let's try it. And there's a link below, so if you want to try it yourself, by all means. So we at least have this 1 up here. And it's going to be put in a little domino region like this. Now, this black cell up here now, it's kind of locked out of the world. And so I can use this little dashed line as a notation bit. This notation bit is just my way to say this connects somewhere. These two are in the same omino, is I guess what I'm saying with that. So I actually guess I know I've got a 2 and a 3 over here. I have some idea what's going on with the 1s, I suppose. At least a little bit. I can mark those. I know this is going to have size 1, of course. It's not going to take the 3. Let's see. Okay, so I know that if I look at this, there's a domino and a size 3 piece. And what I see is I can't actually connect these. Because if I do, I've created a size 3 gray cell that's just 3 grays in a row. So then I would need to connect this to 3 whites in a row, but I couldn't because this white cell doesn't have 3 whites in a row. So actually it has to be the case that I'm talking about this. And so now this is going to come over here into this white region. And now this 2 has to take 2 cells. It's definitely not taking the 3. Oh, wait, sorry. It could take... Oh, it can't take these 2 cells. Sorry, I jumped a little bit there. If this domino tries to take a white domino here, remember, it can't take that cell, so it'd have to take these 2. But then that doesn't leave 3 cells for this size 3. So the domino's not coming over here. That was right. So the domino's going down here. The domino can never take the 3. So if it's never taking the 3, it's always taking... Sorry, it's always taking this cell, because if it doesn't take that cell, it can't get to 2 cells. But the thing to notice is it can't take this cell either, because if I do, then I create a region where my size 3 region purportedly only in fact actually has size 2, which is not good. And so if I can't take that, that means that this region looks like this. Oops. Okay, and so now my size 3 region is forced. I guess I probably shouldn't put a bound there like that. I can certainly put a bound here and fill in this one region. That I can certainly put a bound with. I know these connect for sure as well. Okay, so this is certainly part of it. And I need to get to 3, so even if I go that way, that's not enough. I always go this way. But I could do 3 like this, or I could do 3 like that. I'm not quite sure which one is happening yet. Okay, so now this 4 is interesting. And when I say now this 4 is interesting, it actually became interesting as soon as I knew that I was going to have 3 gray pieces being mirrored with 3 white pieces in here. Namely, only this cell in here can possibly be part of the 4. The 4 can't go further than that without absorbing too many of the cells for me to finish the 3, right? This 3 needs to get finished in 3 of these 4 cells in this 2x2. So that means in order to get to 4, my 4 has to go at least that far that way. And much like what happened earlier with the 3, if I make my 4 do this, now I'm obligated to find 4 black cells to connect to this that are 4 in a row. And the only 4 black cells in a row that I could possibly take would be these 4, but that has the problem that it runs smack dab into a 5. So I can't do that. I have to do that, which does in fact finish that space. Finishes this 1 over here. I know that doesn't do anything like that. Okay. Okay. I'm seeing I can draw a boundary here because if this connects to here, then these 2 black cells are stranded. Well, this black cell in particular is stranded. It can't connect over to any white cells, which would be bad for it. Okay, I know 4 of these. Okay, so I think I know, actually, that if I look at this collection of black cells, I think they contain the 2 black cells that match these 2 white cells and the 4 black cells that match these white cells. So I think that actually puts a boundary here because I need to use all 6 of these to fulfill that 4 and that 2. And in particular, that means this white cell has to connect into here. So that means it's part of the 2, at the very least. So we've got our 2 over here that's now connecting here. And I can't connect there because that would make it impossible to fit one of these L shapes. So we're going to do that. And now our 4 piece is done. It matches up with this 2 piece over here. And now these 2 white cells have to match up with 2 gray cells over here. This 5, if I look at it, has at least these 4 cells. But actually, if you look at what 5 white cells these 5 black cells are going to take, it's exactly these 5, which means I need to make my black cells that shape, like that. Okay, and so now this white cell takes that black cell. This black cell takes that white cell. And now, oh yeah, this 3 we had earlier, it finishes because this black cell now only has one place it can go, which is there. And now we've just got to figure out how exactly we're dividing these pieces. Let's see. I saw a way that works. but I'm trying to figure out how one actually shows that it's the only way. Let's see. Is the thing I saw that works is to just make this a domino and then get a 5 over there. I'm trying to make sure I understand why it's not possible to do this any other way. So the thing I'm imagining is, what if this piece, these two whites that go together, what if they don't connect over to here? And I know these whites, by the way. I feel like I've not said this coherently enough throughout this solve. These whites have to connect to a black of equal size. So they need to keep growing. If they don't grow to this cell, it forces them over to here because they need to get to the black cells. They couldn't take this cell either, and now I would have an S through here, what the Tetris people would call an S, and that just doesn't work. So this has to come over here. The reason why the S doesn't work is it definitely isolates a black cell over here. So now this needs another cell. Because if it stops now, I have to do 3 in a row black, and now I've separated these 3 white and these 3 black, because that's the only way I could do it. So I need to take one of these two at least. And a key observation is, whichever of these two I take, I either directly take this one, or I take this one. But if I take this one, it forces me to take this one anyway. So I always take this cell. But again, this isn't good enough, because if I want to take the T, I have to do that. And that's not enough. And so if I want to take one more cell, I have to take that one. And now the last step here is to notice I can't take this cell, because if I take this cell, I get the staircase, and the staircase won't fit into my remaining gray cells. So I have to do that. And then once I do that, now everything is clean. All right. Hopefully you enjoyed that. I'll be back next time on another invitation to puzzles. Do let me know, by the way, in the comments if there's any sorts of puzzles that you're particularly interested in, if there's any you've had a hard time getting your head around or anything like that. I'd be happy to take suggestions for any sorts of puzzle types that you'd like me to talk about. But that's all for now. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.